After an eventful weekend at Phoenix Raceway, here are a few things that we learned from the Cup Series event at the 1 Mile Oval in the desert. My name is Phil from Motorsports Reports, and recapping Jared's article from Motoring Chronicle. And some things that we went over in the article included the call by Ryan Blaney's crew chief Jonathan Hassler with 22 laps to go, the final pit cycle, which saw the driver of the number 12 Ford go and take 2 tires versus 4 tires for the dominant presence in Christopher Bell for Joe Gibbs Racing in his number 20 Toyota, which saw Ryan Blaney line up on the outside of row 2, while Christopher Bell ended up starting 8th. There was an immediate yellow that included Ty Dillon, Zane Smith, John Hunter Nemechek, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. soon after that pit stop, and then having to go through traffic affected the ability of Bell to be able to go and pass Blaney for the victory there after a dominant race. Also for Penske, it was a double up on a historic weekend where they were celebrating the 60th anniversary of Penske Racing. In both the IndyCar and the NASCAR race, the Penske team scored the pole and then won the race, of course with 2 different drivers. Blaney getting his 18th career win, his second at Phoenix. Logano had won the pole earlier in the day, and then Blaney had won stage 1 prior to having penalties that rendered him to the back and having to come back to the front. So it was a resourceful performance and also a great performance in general in a celebratory weekend for the organization. Joe Gibbs Racing dominated the race with Christopher Bell, but you had Ty Gibbs and Denny Hamlin also finish in the top 5. Chase Briscoe, prior to his wreck, was running in the top 5. So the Joe Gibbs Racing team showed their strength after a slow start to the year at road course and 2 super speedway type events. Tyler Reddick's great start to the year with 3 consecutive wins, ended up with an 8th place finish at Phoenix, but he was able to score stage points and holds a 60-point lead on Blaney heading into this weekend's race at Las Vegas. Logano led 74 laps, but ended up triggering a couple of accidents, and that led to a record number of cautions, 12 cautions for 86 laps. Logano ended up finishing 31st in the race, but had speed early in the day. And then in terms of a marathon mentality, this is a 26 race regular season, 4 races in. For Reddick, he's got a huge points lead, but for the likes of Ryan Blaney and Reddick's teammate Bubba Wallace, they have good points situation, and also Toyota leads the manufacturers. So those are all things that were covered, and we will continue to cover all things NASCAR, IndyCar here on Motorsports Reports. And please tune in to the Gripster podcast that I do with my co-host Josh on all podcast platforms.